Too many colleagues blow out on the trading floor, losing everything, and then some in a single day. He often talked about what the trading lifestyle did to some people who coped with the stress through alcohol, drugs, or lavish spending. He wanted nothing to do with that world, but it surrounded him day after day on the floor. All these were signs I could have investigated, should have investigated, but I didn't. I'd been busy enjoying our comfortable income and my part-time work. Dale's job had made a lot of things possible for us. We'd bought a townhouse and were remodeling it. We'd co-purchased the apartment building and were remodeling it too. Except for our first few months of marriage, we had never really struggled to make ends meet. I now realized those days were probably over. As we resumed our walk along that Florida beach, I glanced over at Dale. He looked at peace, settled. He's such a good man, I thought. True, I wish he had included me in this process so I could be fully on board by the time the decision was made. But I probably could have been more perceptive about how hard this had been on him. Our marriage was less than 2 years old, but it was solid. Dale was a kind of man who would never ask me to stay in a job I hated, nor could I bring myself to ask him to stay in a career he desperately wanted to leave. I reached out for his hand. I'm mad at you, but we'll figure this out, I said. We're in this together. He squeezed my hand and exhaled. Our flight home that afternoon was quiet, but my mind raced. Here was my new reality. I would be the sole breadwinner while Dale figured out what was next. I no longer had the luxury of working as an office manager in an interior design firm, a field that fascinated me, even if the pay wasn't great. I needed to either find a job that paid more money or add a second job. Doing what? Just 7 days ago, our lives had been orderly and predictable. Now, everything was up in the air. I needed to figure out what to do next. As the world slipped by beneath our jet, I closed my eyes and prayed. Lord, I'm angry and I'm scared. I don't like not knowing how this is going to turn out. I feel a huge sense of responsibility for this next season. Show me what you want me to do. Graph paper and fine things. Growing up in the Midwest in the 1960s and 1970s, I was a typical 12-year-old kid. I was the daughter of loving parents, the middle of 3 sisters, who equally adored our baby brother. I excelled in sports and was decent at school, okay at music, and only mediocre at art. Yet there I sat in Ms. Hall's 6th grade art class, riveted. This project has 2 phases, our teacher explained. First, you'll design the floor plan of a house. She turned on an overhead projector and placed a transparency on its glass surface. It was the 1970s, and PowerPoint was years away. An architect's rendering of a simple 4-room plan appeared on the screen. I'd never seen a floor plan before, but I loved its orderly, clean look. Architectural symbols showed me where the bathroom and kitchen were located. The windows, doors, closets, and a fireplace were all drawn to scale. It was like looking down at an empty home with its roof removed. Once I've approved your floor plan, Ms. Hall continued, you'll use balsa wood and glue to build a 3D model of your house. Then you can decorate it, like this. She stooped behind her desk and lifted a tiny white house with green trim mounted on a thin square board. I was mesmerized. Now this is an art project I could get into. Ms. Hall passed around graph paper. Take several sheets each, she said. Use a pencil and a ruler to draw your floor plans over the weekend and bring them in on Monday. And remember, your eraser is your friend. After school, I headed straight to my bedroom and pulled out a sheet of my graph paper. I drew a 2-story house with 3 bedrooms and a bath upstairs and 4 rooms on the main floor. I labeled each of the rooms in capital letters just as Ms. Hall had done. Bedroom 1,